you. And I started on this journey probably 7 or 8 years ago when I was out mountain biking and I hit a rock, broke some ribs, went and got a bone density scan per my doctor's recommendation, and I had osteoporosis. That sent me down this path of trying to understand why. And then at some point I started working with alternative integrative care practitioners. What we discovered was that I had a boatload of mercury in my body, and that I learned was interfering with my body's ability to absorb the nutrients. Largely, we believe, due to the amalgam fillings that I had for 30 of those years or more. And I used to eat a lot of sushi, tuna in particular. So the large carnivorous fish, I've come to learn, accumulate a lot of mercury, and thus it ends up in my body. So then I went on this journey to try to figure out how to get this bad stuff out of me. I went on this path of working with a number of practitioners who they had various types of experiences, but very few had clinical experience in successfully getting the metal out of a person's body. You can do more damage, which I did along the way, by redistributing a lot of that mercury in organs and tissues. And so I had shifting symptoms that lasted for a couple of months to 18 months. So at some point, I ended up here in Malaysia and was still on this journey looking for practitioners that could help me. And during the course of that, I had tried multiple other detoxification techniques. And Dr. Lee, with respect to the successes that they were having here in this clinic with treating people. So I found out that I only lived a short distance away, so I came here and became a part of their program. And honestly, had I not gone through all the years of false hopes and false starts, I would have probably continued doing the best I could on my own and probably not have good results. I was already experiencing some very serious problems. So when I came here, the introduction was to first get an assessment of what's going on in my body. And it wasn't a quick in and out, take this, do that. It was then learning about what's going on in my body, not just by a consult, but also taking some tests, blood work, and things like that. The first thing that resonated with me was in the consult with Dr. Lee was I had come to understand that there's really only two things that happen in our body. One, we need the nutrients that many of us are lacking, some more than others. And two, the toxic burden that we're carrying. And mine in particular was mercury, which also prevents the liver and kidneys from working properly. But still my body wasn't able to get the nutrients that I needed. It wasn't until I started working with Dr. Lee that the protocol that he's using to take the metals out, one, it's tailored for your specific toxic burden. A lot of them are common amongst all of us, but you can only take so many capsules and things in a day. It says I'm on round 13 today. And so that's 13 weeks, and plus a few weeks before that where we were consulting and figuring out what my situation was. And honestly, I don't think I would have lasted for another couple of years if I had continued working with practitioners who didn't have this type of clinical experience. I was doing what I had to do, but it wasn't until I came upon Dr. Lee that he put all the pieces together and that he had the same understanding of medicine that I do, which is really get rid of the toxins and get the right nutrients into the body. Now I have hope. Before I was doing the best I could, I was optimistic. I'm a glass half full kind of person, but even in spite of that, I was beginning to see that I wasn't gonna make it if I was continuing on my own. I just can't say enough good about this organization. This is something that's essential for our survival, not just as an individual, but as a species. There is hope. There are people, few and far between, but there are a few that know what they're doing and are doing it well, and stay with it. There's hope.